Breakfast with your Coys. Oh yeah. Breakfast with your Coys. Breakfast with your Coys. Oh yeah. Breakfast with your Coys. Breakfast with your Coys.
Oh, what a night. Watching Tottenham on a Tuesday. I'm not going to sing it all. I probably lost everyone who actually turned on. Guys, good morning. Happy Wednesday. And Spurs have won a game. And won a game pretty convincingly. What a result at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Spurs doing something that I don't think any of us expected. We actually beat Borussia Dortmund in the Champions League. There is no doubt. We looked at this Champions League run before. We looked at our fixtures, and Paris Saint-Germain and Borussia Dortmund were the two massive games against two seeded sides that we thought we might struggle against. Obviously, we lost to Paris Saint-Germain. We've beaten Borussia Dortmund last night with, let's be honest, a scratch team, a bare 11. Bare 12, if you're going to count Mawani as well. I don't count him because I don't think he wants to be here. But, guys, what do we make of it? Has Frank, well, he clearly has, got a stay of execution for now. It looks like he is going to be in charge of the Burnley game at all. Again, how are we feeling about it? Because I've got to be honest, the win's great. Doesn't change much for me in the manager situation. And I'm going to read out a tweet that I read this morning that is exactly how I feel. And it's from Gary Ward. Big up to Gary Ward. I know he gets on a few shows. And he says this: important 3 points at home and a home win in the Champions League, but it doesn't paper over the problems. Thomas Frank did tonight something he has not done much of at all since joining us, in my opinion, partially because of what he had available, rather than as he normally does and focus on his setup and personnel around the opponent. He was almost forced to look at the 11 outfielders and find a situation and find, sorry, it went off. Look at the 11. I've lost totally where I am now. The 11 outfielders and find a system that suited them rather than trying to counter the opposition. The first half was excellent in spells and credit for that, but the second, we again sat back and invited 10 men on. If Frank is in charge Saturday, it wouldn't surprise me if we went back to a 4-2-3-1, two defensive-minded players in the pivot and sitting back, hoping to nick a set-piece goal rather than attacking and being daring. It's a very important win, but it doesn't change much for me. The long term isn't Thomas Frank. And I absolutely agree with that. Sorry, I lost my way halfway through because my phone went off, which is never good when you're trying to read something. But I agree. Listen, great result last night. Fantastic performance, especially first half. But let's not pivot back to what we normally do now in the league. We got to play that way every game. Yeah, front-footed, attacking, aggressive football, and we want to see it for 90 minutes and not just 45. Listen, for me, like I say, last night, an important statement victory for Tottenham, and it just goes to show, doesn't it? And this is why even though I'm happy, I am really frustrated because why can we not play like that every week, right? Why can we not do that every week? Why is it once in a blue moon do we turn out a performance like that and then the rest of the time we're back to being absolute rubbish? I've been wanting to say the players are not good enough. They showed last night they are good enough. So listen, for me, it's on them. Start doing that every week. Thomas Frank, maybe he didn't have any options. Maybe it was very much like, listen, I'm on my last legs here. I'm on my way out. I've got nothing to lose. Let's just go for it. If that's the case, fantastic. But maybe it's time to change the way you think, Thomas, and start attacking more often. Second half, in all fairness to Thomas Frank and Tottenham, second half the game was won. Yeah, we were 2-0 up. Dortmund had 10 men. And we managed the game pretty well, I think. It's frustrating, isn't it, when we're playing against 10 men, we're 2-0 up. As far as we want to see us, Tottenham go for the jugular. But as it is, I think the game was done. I think the game was won, even if, maybe if Dortmund had scored, it would have changed things. But Dortmund didn't really look like scoring. And though they had a lot of possession second half and they probed, didn't really open us up, didn't really have any chances until right at the end, with the header that Vicario tipped over. I think it's the only save Vicario had to make the whole game. So I think Spurs managed it. We got a lot of injuries, a lot of players out, suspended, wasn't eligible for the game. So I think we managed the game perfectly well, and I'm delighted. We are through. That's the main thing. We've now guaranteed ourselves a playoff place, and hopefully, if we can get a result in Frankfurt next week, which I think we will, I actually think we will now, we will qualify in the top 8, which isn't credit to Thomas Frank and credit to the Tottenham team for that. But we want to see it in the league as well, don't we? It doesn't change a thing. Let's say hello to the chat. I've waffled on for far too long already. So Adam says, big up Adam, said this club baffles me absolutely. It's one of them, isn't it? Why can we not do this every week? So frustrating, but we take the wins where we can. Scott Colliver, hello Nigel, everyone. Big up to you, Scott. I hope you're well, mate. Barbaric saying, good morning, Nige. I have to be honest, I did not see that performance coming. Fantastic win. That will boost confidence, smash the like and sub people. I didn't see it coming either. I really didn't. I think on the 2 Mark show last night on the watch along, I think all three of us went for Spurs defeat. Didn't see it coming. I'm happy. It was a great result, but I'm kind of confused now. I've kind of been left a little confused why we can't do this week in and week out. It's beyond me, but it is what it is. Cookie is in, said, morning, Nigel, gorgeous beast. Well, beast, maybe. Gorgeous, I'm not sure. But thanks, mate. I hope you're well. And Sheriff, working hard as always. Morning, Nigel. Big up, mate. Good morning to you, Sheriff. I hope you're well and stay out of the rain. Keep warm in that cab. Bob is in, saying, well, we won. Good morning, Nigel. Good morning to you, Bob. Guys, how are we feeling about the win? Right? I think we're all happy, aren't we? Obviously, we're all delighted Tottenham won. But how are we feeling about it? Because for me, I've got it in my head. Frank's going, Frank's leaving, getting a new manager in. And now suddenly we've won. It's like, doesn't look like Frank's going now. And I'm delighted with the win, but I am still with the mindset of like, I still want to change. I don't know how you guys are feeling. Let me know in the chat. Ghost is saying, big up, Nigel, chat. Big up to you. Sheriff coming out with the Frank in. Right. Listen, he's not going anywhere at the moment, is he? He's definitely got the Burnley game. And if we win that, which I think if we play like we did on last night, I think we've got every chance of winning. Then Frank stays, right? He stays. Now it's time for the board to start bringing players in. Bring players in now. We need signings, and we need signings desperately. Clem is in saying, morning all. Good morning to you, mate. I hope you're well. Rodney saying, good morning. Where do we go from here? Come on, you Spurs. And this is it, isn't it? I think we'd all got into a state of we're crap, we're losing every week. Get this manager out. We are the worst. This club's a mess. And suddenly we pull out a result like that. And it's like, oh, okay, we weren't expecting that. I'm not quite sure what to think now. I'm just a little frustrated. I'm happy, but frustrated because why can't we put those performances in and week out? I don't know. Vindaloo's in. Big up, Vindaloo. See, Arsenal qualified. They are absolutely through to the next stage of the Champions League. Congratulations to Arsenal. And he says, morning, Nige. Can you, Adam and Eva, you actually won a game with group of shit players considering your injuries. Anyways, well done. Off to work. Have a good day at work, mate. And this is it, isn't it? We just goes to show, though, doesn't it? These players are not shit. They've just been putting in shit performances. They can do it when they want to, and that's what I'm frustrated about. The fact that they've showed they can do it, but we know as Spurs fans that there is an excellent chance that at the weekend we will revert to type and be crap again. Let's hope they're not, because Yeah, there's still so much to do at the club. Cam says 21st of Jan, clock ticking, signings. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. We are desperate for signings, desperate for players to come in. And so far, Conor Gallagher, it's rubbish, isn't it? Big Up Rain says poor players give inconsistent performances. Yeah, I mean, this is what's frustrating though, isn't it? And Spurs have always been like it, in my opinion. As long as I've supported Spurs, we've always had a lot of inconsistent players, and never more so than right now. So frustrating as a fan that we know that they have it in them to play well, but more often than not, they don't. And I thought the manager had lost them. I'll be honest, Rain. I thought the managers had they weren't playing for the manager, but I don't know. Maybe were they playing for the manager? Were they playing for themselves? Um, I'm not sure. I know, you said on the show the other night that, manager isn't as important, which, it's I kind of agree with to an extent. It is on the players a lot of the time to put those performances in. Um, we put one in last night. Let's hope we continue going forward. Barbaric saying, Vindaloo, good morning, young sir. Hope you get a puncher. Um, I don't know. Niall says, morning, Nige and chat. The players were always going to turn up for the Champions League. You've seen the way they huddled at halftime and they are playing for themselves. And Frank still has to go. This is interesting. I said it last night on the watch along. Really interesting last night when the halftime whistle went. Frank straight down the tunnel. And the players almost held back, didn't they? Held back. They got into a little huddle. They were talking amongst themselves. Um, that was interesting. I'm not sure what I've made of that, to be honest. Um, the players certainly pulled together for that game. Was it one last hurrah for Frank? Are we still going to see maybe a Frank sack today? I don't think so. I think he's almost certainly got the Burnley game. But it's an interesting one because, yeah, when I saw that, I did say, that's weird. That's weird. Usually the players straight off down the tunnel, but no, they got in that huddle. And yeah, interesting one. Interesting one. Vindaloo said, hey, the Sharks turned into Nemo yesterday, Bodo. And Bodo Glimt, mate, they are a good side. People constantly saying how crap they are just because they're a small Norwegian team. But they have a good team ethic. They play nice football. And they absolutely destroyed City last night. And they will do that to teams. They will do that to teams, especially on their artificial pitch. Suddenly, that 2-2 draw for Spurs earlier on in the Champions League doesn't look so bad, does it? But yeah. Clem saying Adeyemi was disappointing given all the hype. Listen, I'm not going to say much. I'm just going to say for me, listen, he's a really talented player. But for me, and I stick by it, he is a lot of pace, a lot of pace. And, he has got a lot of skill as well. And I think when we were talking about Adeyemi last time about him possibly coming in, it was Adeyemi or Agaluche. And I was very much like, I would love an Agaluche just because I think he's a bit more silky, a bit more pleasant on the eye than Adeyemi. Adeyemi's direct, very good. But yeah, if he's not given service, he is not your creative type. He is your power, your pace. And for me, I think I would prefer an Agaluche. I think he fits Tottenham more than an Adeyemi. Listen, I take both. But yeah, Adeyemi was disappointing. He had a couple of chances, didn't he? One when he broke through. Um, but the defenders caught him up, I thought, quite quickly. And one where he was almost in from a goal kick, but his touch was bad. And Tottenham got back and managed to close him out. But yeah, he didn't really have a lot else. I think once Dortmund went down to 10 men, the game was pretty much done there as a spectacle, really. But listen, I'm happy about it. I'm delighted. What do we make of the red card, guys? Because for me, it was harsh. I've got to be honest. As a Spurs fan, I loved it. It was great. But for me, I just think, nah, if that's a red card, then football is dead because, he was slightly late, but there was no pressure, was there? It felt like a stroke more than a kick. But listen, we take it all day long and we move on. We won the game. That's all that matters. That is all that matters. Cookie is saying, where are the signings? This win last night will be an excuse for Enoch not to spend this window. Mate, they have to, don't they? They have to. We are so short. I mean, it only showed last night. We are literally down to the bare bones. And admittedly, 4 or 5 of the players that are out are because of either suspension in Van der Ven or because they weren't eligible. Your Conor Gallagher's, your Towels taken out again, your Dragishins. They'll all be back for the Burnley game. So, and hopefully Polina will be back. But yeah, we definitely need signings. There's no excuse. There is no excuse. There will be some excuses. We know what Enoch are like. And the problem is, for me, that win now, again, is papering over a few cracks, keeps Frank in a job an extra week, and that's an extra week of the transfer window. So listen, it wouldn't surprise me at all if we didn't sign anyone else, but I would be livid. Mike's in the house said, could Hettinger have some sway on the way we played? I don't know. I don't know, mate. I think it was very much one of them. Well, like I say, Frank was on his last legs. He knew it. He knew that he had to pull out a win, and maybe he knows he's going anyway. And it was very much like, right, let's just go attack. Let's just go for it. And Spurs did. I thought the two in central midfield in Bergvall and Gray played really well last night. They've got a lot of stick this season, and rightly so, because they're Tottenham players. I know they're young, but they play for Tottenham and they have gotten a lot of stick. But I think last night they were decent. They were decent. We've got to say it how it is. Are they the answer? Absolutely not. Right now, we need better. But you've got to call it out. And when they play well, you've got to say they played well. Both played well. Bergvall, another injury. Bit worried about Bergvall, actually, because that is, the third or fourth time he's gone down in a game and had to come off. Clearly, this injury, whether it's the same one or different one, clearly he's not recovered from one of these injuries. So we've got to manage him now. And this is, again, why we need more players. Bergvall, for me, should be out of the side now for a little while, because we can't keep playing him and him keep coming off injured. It's no good for him. It can't be doing his body any good. Big up, mate. It says it's a shit show, mate. It absolutely is. 5460. That's what I'm going to call you, because I have no idea what your name is. But yeah, absolutely agree. It is a shit show, but we take the wins where we can get them. And it was a fantastic win. Guys, smash a like, hit the subscribe button if you haven't. 50 in the house so far. Hopefully it will grow. But Spurs have won. So I don't know, guys. How are we feeling about last night's victory? Are we happy? How do we think this is going to go forward? Are we going to make the signings we need? Are we going to keep Frank? Is he going to change his ways? Are we going to be more attacking? I'm not sure. I'm not sure. Bob says we need to play the same way as we did against. Yeah, we need to make pay the same team against Burnley. I agree. To a point, I agree. I think obviously Bergvall will come out, so you would think Gallagher will come straight back in. I was quite happy with the front three. What do we make of Spence playing further up the pitch last night? Spence getting rave reviews. I heard someone on Twitter call him Gareth Bell. Wow. That's a bit too much, isn't it? But listen, fans get excited, and there's nothing wrong with that. But I think Spence had a decent game. I quite liked Adogi and Spence down that left-hand side. You know what, Adogi, people slate him a lot, but he gives us so much balance on that left-hand side. And it's so good to see him back. Hopefully, he can steer clear of injuries for a little while. I thought both Spence and Udogi were fantastic last night. And hopefully they can grow. I'm not sure about Spence long term, but that left-sided attacking role, I absolutely thought it would be Porro playing further up and Spence would play right back. How wrong was I? It was Spence who played more forward, and I think he had a decent game. Actually skinned his fullback a couple of times. And Odegaard, nice to see him take on his man. And like I say, he skinned his fullback 2 or 3 times last night. So yeah, good to see. The thing about Odegaard is he does He does go quiet in games. You know, he will have a little spell and he's electric, and then he will literally do nothing for half an hour. But all in all, good performance. And Solanke with, I mean, when it first went in, I was like, "Oh, what a goal! What a great finish from Solanke." And then I watched it again. I was like, "Oh, wow, that was yeah." But he knew it, didn't he? Because he was laughing, obviously, when it went in. But listen, we take the goals where we can get them at the moment. Nice for Solanke to get off the mark for the season. Hopefully now he can come in and start scoring regularly for Tottenham. Sheriff saying, I've seen a vid last night, the South Stand singing for Potts, really. Um, yeah. Interesting. Rain says, I don't think Frank is going anywhere. Same problem today as 2 days ago. Not enough good players in the club. One decent win doesn't change that. No, absolutely. Absolutely. We are short in so many areas. We have so much to do. But listen, like I say, we take the wins where we can get them, right? I think as a fan base, we had got into a situation where we were so convinced that Frank should have gone at the weekend, and he should have. There's no doubt about that. And we were so convinced, like Frank's gone, we're shit. We've got no players. We're going to get stuffed. And we've won the game. And it's like, oh, okay. Well, I guess Frank's staying then. Oh, all right. And yeah, just feels a bit weird today for me. But Barbaric says Simmons had a great game and Spence was fantastic. Their defense could not cope with him. 100%. Let's talk about Xavi Simmons. I think his best game in a Spurs shirt by far. Absolutely fantastic. He made Spurs tick in the centre of that midfield. Is it a Champions League thing though? Because he had a game like this against Copenhagen, didn't he? When he ran the show, had that space in midfield to drive. Like I say, last night, a couple of balls through, one to Mawani, which again he missed, absolute tit. And then one for Porro, who somehow didn't get a shot off. Not quite sure what happened. Obviously, I think he miscontrolled the ball, didn't he, as he went to shoot, and it never happened. But yeah, for me, Xavi Simmons was making Tottenham tick in that midfield. Listen, his shooting is woeful when he gets in the box. Outside the box, he's not too bad. But yeah, his finishing needs to improve 100%. But actually, on the ball, making things happen, that creative spark, best game for Xavi Simmons yet. And hopefully he gets better. And anyone saw his foot on, again, Twitter, they showed a picture of his foot. I think it must have been after the game. It was swollen. So this guy's been playing with an injury, and he was absolutely fantastic last night. Let's hope it continues. Xavi Simmons hopefully could be the future of Tottenham Hotspur. Oscar's in, said, morning, Nige. Good morning to you, Oscar. Hope you're well. And Stuart said, can Spurs be back-to-back European champions? That would be lovely. I'm not even thinking that far ahead. I don't think there's any way in hell. And I think you're being a little sarcastic. Listen, I don't see it, but it's just nice, isn't it? It's just nice winning a game to start with. But beating one of Europe's elites, and I call Dortmund an elite European side because they are one of the best sides in Germany. They have reached at least one Champions League final, if not two or three, a couple, I think. You know, they are a big side and they are second in the German league. They haven't lost many games at all this season, and they were favourites to win last night, 100%. So we can hold our own against Europe's best. Sounds crazy to say when we lose at home to West Ham, but we can hold our own. We held our own in the Super Cup final against Paris Saint-Germain. We kind of held our own a little bit in Paris when we lost 5-3. You know, that game could have been 8-6, but you know, why not? Why not? Let's see. Let's see. Let's get through this stage and see who we get in the knockout stage. But you know, who knows? Who knows? Never say never with Tottenham, but I don't think so. Rain says, oh, come on. Odebear has one good game and two poor. Xavi revelled in being given freedom last night. We hardly tore them apart last night. They looked dangerous until the red card. Scrappy 2-0 win. I don't think they looked dangerous at all, mate, before the red card. I don't think they created anything. I think they had a couple of like breakaways, when Adeyemi, his pace got in. Other than that, I can't remember him doing much. I think it was a comfortable win. I think we got to give Spurs credit. Um, but you're right on Odegaard. Listen, he does. He had one good game and two poor. Sometimes it's not even a good game. Sometimes it's a good 10-minute spell, and then he's out of the game for the rest of it. Um, but yeah, I don't think. I think I was disappointed with Dortmund. I'll be honest. I thought they'd really come at us, and they didn't. I think maybe we give Spurs credit. Maybe Dortmund came and showed us a little bit too much respect. I don't know why they would do that, but yeah, I agree with you and Xavi. He revelled in being given that freedom, and like I say, is it a Champions League thing? Because he doesn't seem to get that freedom in the Premier League. Um, Obviously, the Premier League's a lot faster. So yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what happens going forward in the Premier League for Xavi. He needs to maybe think a little bit quicker in the Premier League. Simon's in saying, don't trust these players putting themselves in the shop window when it suits them on the biggest stage, but nothing to gun for in the Prem now. We'll see how much they care about the club or pride. This is it, mate. We will see what happens at the weekend. Are we going to revert to type? Are we going to be back to the same old Spurs? Let's see. We will find out. I expect a tough game against Burnley, but let's be honest, Burnley. I hate to say it 'cause I say it every week. West Ham, Burnley, they're not great, are they? I mean, they're not bad, but they're not great. They're beatable. So let's go there and beat them. If we don't, and if we lose, again, I'm no different. Frank will have to go. Let's see what happens. Burke's born and bred saying Ferguson was on the verge of being sacked and he turned things round. Either back him in the transfer window or just sack him. Yeah, and listen, it was the same with Pochettino, wasn't it? He was on the verge of getting sacked until that Aston Villa game, and we managed to turn that round, and suddenly things went up from there. I'm not sure whether they're going to go up from there with Frank, but we will see. We will see. Chunky Big Up Son says, morning everyone. Absolute domination. I haven't seen a game like that in a long time. Quality stuff. Yeah, I think it for me, I do think we dominated the first half. Second half, like I say, we did sit off. We did stop. But I understand that. I understand it. The players, we haven't got a lot of fit players. And we managed the game. And I think we did enough. It was a comfortable win in the end, I think. And then he follows it up by saying, red card was harsh for me. Never a red, but it didn't matter. We were battering them before it. I thought the red card was harsh. I'll be honest, I'm not complaining at all, but I thought the red card was harsh. Absolutely. Simon Cohen said, morning, Nige. Good morning to you, Simon. I hope you're well. Sheriff said, harsh, yes, but that's the rules these days. Graham Roberts would have been sent off every game. Graham Roberts would never be a professional footballer now, would he? It's just mental how the game has changed. It really is. Barbaric saying good morning to Charlie. Rain saying very harsh red card. Can't stand this where the game has gone. This is another incident where the LB clearly engineered the free kick with Odegaard not touching him. Yeah, killing football. Yeah, absolutely. And what does my head in more than anything is when the VAR, when they go over to the screen and it just shows the instant that anything looks bad, doesn't it? When you take a picture of when it's actually happening. And, I don't know. I mean, it's harsh. Listen, like I say, we take it all day long. Um, if it was a Spurs player that got sent off, I would have been absolutely livid because for me, it was really, really soft. Another failed upload. Big up to you, Corey. Said, morning all. Big up, mate. I hope you're well. And Bob saying, but Simmons got the same against Liverpool. He did. And this is it. It was very similar, slightly different, but again, it was an accident, and it is what it is. Like I say, we take it all day long. Oscar saying Jed is levels above Tau, in my opinion. Um, yeah, listen, Spence had a really good game last night, but it, as much as I like Spence, it's still frustrating that he's got no left foot. He did absolutely skin his man a few times and put a few decent balls in the box as well. I thought he played really well last night. Spence cannot say any more than that. Rain says, I think we've been playing like this for weeks and weeks. We've just lacked the quality to execute and concede poor goals from individual mistakes. We do concede a lot of goals from individual mistakes, mate, don't we? A lot of goals. And that needs to stop. Hopefully it will go forward. John is saying, what did everyone think of Odegaard? I thought Odegaard was, like I say, decent. Couple of assists. The first one maybe, it was a good second ball in, but he actually did try to smash a volley at goal, didn't he? And miss kick it. But listen, we take what we can get. I thought Odegaard did what he had to do in that first half, skinned his defender a couple of times, put a few good balls in the box. Like I said, a couple of assists to his name as well. But we need more. We need more. He needs to do it week in and week out now. And let's hope he does, because we need it. Hotspur Flicks, big up, mate. Says, what a win last night. Absolutely. Listen, I think we're all in a bit of shock at the moment, aren't we? It's yeah, we are all in a bit of shock at the moment, but we take the win where we can get them. And I thought it was a really good performance last night. Stuart says this Tottenham job is too big for Frank, but hey, could be wrong. I agree with you. I do think it is too big for Frank, but that win last night has just made everyone think a little bit, isn't it? It's just made everyone think a little bit. Maybe, just maybe, he can turn it around. I don't know. We will see, guys. If you're in, you haven't smashed that like button, please smash that like button. And if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe to the channel. I am one sub away from 1,360. So any help would be much appreciated. Cookie says consistency is key now. These players have proved they can play decent football under Frank, and now it needs to continue, but it probably won't. This is it, isn't it? The tale of Spurs being inconsistent is what we are as a club. Let's hope that changes. And Charlie, I think you've been drinking, mate. Spence turned into prime Neymar. Um, Not sure about that, mate. But yeah, listen, hey, Spence played well. Absolutely no doubt about it. Williams says, morning, Nigel and everyone. Well, Spursy again, kick on Burnley next. Put a performance in. This club makes you numb. So when you do win, it's just meh. I agree. I feel a little bit like that today, like a bit meh. I think it's because I built up in myself, right? Frank's going, we're getting an interim in, or we're getting a manager. Who are we going to get? This is, are we going to get Xavi? Are we going to get Poch? Are we going to get Alonso? Oh, it's going to be, are we going to get Glasner? And now I'm like, it looks like we're keeping Frank. And I'm just a little bit like, okay, yeah, not overly happy about it. But listen, I'm happy with a win, of course. Hotspur Flick says about last night's game, Frank had no choice with that formation and selection, and it actually worked out. Surely we have to see the same lineup going into the weekend versus Burnley. I don't know, guys. What do you think about playing the same lineup? Because I'm not sure. Obviously, I don't want Van der Ven needs to come back. You think Gallagher would start? Definitely those two. Anyone else? I'm not sure. I think Spence maybe did enough on that left-hand side to give it another go. Or is it one of those games where it's just like we had to play what we had to play, and we couldn't play Moani out there, because if you play Moani out there, you're playing two strikers, and then if one gets injured, you are literally then down to Dane Scarlett, and that's nothing against Dane Scarlett, but maybe that's why he plays Spence on the left, and he probably won't do it again. But Spence maybe did enough to get a start. I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see what he does now at the weekend. Is he going to revert back and bring the players back that he needs to bring back, or will he? Obviously, Bergwijn's out, so he will have to bring Gallagher back, you would think. Is Polina going to be fit? Let's see what happens. Jessica, big up. Jessica says Spence shows he needs a good solid left. Then he can take the player on. Moana, yet poor showing, doesn't want to be here. Absolutely. And yeah, I think Spence played well, but I think we forget just how important it is to have Udogi back in that left back place. He gets a lot of stick, and I've been giving him stick as well, because I think he does switch off at times. But having a left footer at left back is so important. And it showed when Davis was there, as much as we all slated him, when Davis was at left back, that balance, so important. So important. So great to see your doggy back. And I think it helped Spencer's game 100%, knowing that he had that defensive cover behind him. Stewart said, glad Big Dom is back and scored. Yeah, absolutely. He needed it, didn't he? And that goal will hopefully give him confidence. He did look a little bit short of match fitness. There was a couple of times the ball was put in the box and he was caught on his heels a little bit. But listen, that goal can only do him the world of good. And we all know what a great goal it was. Um, let's see what happens. Hopefully he can follow up with a goal at the weekend. Thomas says we need a top striker. Send the French lad back. We should win the Champions. We could win the Champions League and get relegated. Uh, Definitely agree with you with Sen Mawani back. He is not interested in playing for Spurs. Let's get someone in who is. The other two, I don't think we'll get relegated. We definitely won't win the Champions League. I know you're joking, but yeah, it's just nice to win a game. It feels nice again, doesn't it, to win football matches? Ghost is saying Xavi arrived last night. He absolutely did, didn't he? What a great performance from Xavi. Let's hope that continues. Hotspur Flick said, "Yeah, Xavi done well. Should have had a hat trick. He should listen. He could have had a hat trick of assists. To be honest with you, he laid it on a plate for a few players and they ballsed it up. But yeah, like I said, shooting needs to improve. Was unlucky with one shot, but shooting definitely needs to improve. But he's getting in those positions now. He did it against West Ham, didn't he? Forced the keeper into a save. He's getting in those positions, and hopefully, it's going to start ticking now for Xavi Simmons. Jimmy's in saying, big up, Nige and chat. Good morning. Big up to you, mate. I hope you're well. And Hotspur Flick said, yeah, Xavi done really well. Should have had a hat trick. He did. He definitely should have scored last night, 100%. Jimmy says, one swallow knives, but a great win nevertheless. Xavi was strutting around last night like a baller, and Danzo was a giant in defence. So let's enjoy the win for a few days. Absolutely. Danzo, got to give him a mention. He was absolutely fantastic last night, wasn't he? And you know what? The thing about Xavi, now, I don't want to keep going on about him, but I feel like I'm going to. I don't know if anyone else noticed. For the first time in a Spurs shirt, Xavi played with a smile on his face. He was smiling and laughing throughout that game. He looked like he had the time of his life out there. Recently playing for Spurs, it looked like he's had the world on his shoulders, and it was so nice to see him playing with a smile on his face. Hopefully, many more performances like that. He certainly seemed a lot freer last night, didn't he? Thomas saying we need another 4 players. Let's hope we've turned the corner. Listen, what would we take in this window? Another 2 players? I'd love another 2 players to come in and get into that first team. Let's hope that the board do their job. It is so important now. Exactly like Jimmy says, one swallow doesn't make a summer. We need a lot more. And if Frank is staying, and I'm still of the opinion that he's not, but if he is, we need to back him. We need to back him and give him the players that he needs. Stuart says, does anyone remember when we beat Real Madrid in Absolutely. What a night at Wembley that was. That was prime Poch. What a time to be a Spurs fan. And listen, hey, why can't we do it? Okay, we can't do it this season, but listen, we take the wins, don't we? It's always nice beating Dortmund. We have a bit of a hoodoo over Dortmund, just like we do over Man City. We tend to beat them a lot. So yeah, maybe I was wrong to think we would lose last night. We have a bit of a hoodoo over Dortmund. Dino's in, said, morning, mate. We needed that last night. We absolutely did need that last night, mate. And good morning to you, Dino. Ghost is saying, I've had enough of Moani. I bigged the guy up before. Send him back to PSG. I've seen enough. I agree. I thought he was going to be a great signing for Spurs. Watched him at Frankfurt and he smashed the goals in. And Juve as well. So he is a real disappointment. Doesn't look interested. And send him back. What's the point? Send him back. Obviously we can't send him back if we've not got anyone else to replace him. So we probably will keep him till the summer. But definitely Not interested in keeping him full time. Um, we need someone better up front. Spurs Kings TV. Good morning, Nige. Good morning to you. I'm guessing it's Marlon. Good morning, Marlon. I hope you're well, buddy. What did you make of last night? Happy with the victory? How are you feeling about Frank? Stuart says Dane Scarlett to start against Burnley. I don't think so. I don't think so. I think there's too much pressure on Frank to be starting Dane Scarlett, but we will see. I might be wrong. Hotspur Flick said, yeah, Mawani is shite. I've definitely seen enough of him. Sorry. I agree, mate. I agree. I think we all agree. Golden Sun says Gray and Burgers done really well. They did. Both of them had really good games. Like I said earlier, you got to call it out. When players play well, you have to call it out. We are the first to bitch as a fan base when players are crap. So we have to call it out when they play well. And I think both Gray and Bergval played really well last night. And as a team, I don't think there was a single player on that team who didn't have a good game. So it was nice to see. What I find is with Spurs is that if one player has a bad game, usually 8 or 9 have a bad game. How many times we watch Spurs this season? It's like, yeah, they were all shit. You know, Van der Ven did okay, or Da did okay, but never the whole team. It was nice to see the whole team play well last night. Barbaric said last night, Ali McCoy said that Solanke should be rewarded with an assist to his goal. I mean, wow. It was so shit, wasn't it? When you look at it, it was just like, oh my God. I mean, like I say, we take it all day long and he won't mind at all. But it was shocking. When I first saw it, I thought he backheeled it into now. I thought, what a goal. Watching it again, it's just like, Jesus. Jeez, that's a bit embarrassing. I can remember scoring a goal similar to that when I used to play like pub league football and shooting from like 20 yards and it trickling to the keeper and then literally going under the keeper's legs and in. And that was embarrassing. But yeah, Solanke must have been a little bit embarrassed. But you, like I say, you take the goals where you can get them and hopefully it gives him the confidence going forward. Hotspur Fix says great and Bergval were absolutely solid in midfield. Big Danzo and Romero too. Very good team performance. Absolutely. We haven't talked about Romero, have we yet? And Romero again popped up with the all-important goal to put us on our way. And it's frustrating, isn't it? That we again Romero I thought was solid last night. And he's capable. When he plays like he did last night, that's when people can say, this guy is a top player, maybe even bordering on world class, but he just doesn't have those games enough. But he did what I wanted him to do last night as a captain. He saw us through, got the goal, and he was solid. He looked after the 2 centre midfielders in front of him. And, great performance all round by Spurs. Paul G's in. Morning all. Good morning to you, Paul G. I hope you're well. And Ghost to say, I'm so confused now. We are 5th in the Champions League table and in the bottom half of the Premier League. Spursy. It is typically Spursy, isn't it? But does it show the quality of European football? The fact that Arsenal are absolutely cruising it. Spurs are 5th. It kind of shows where European football is at the moment, doesn't it? For me, as much as we talk about the Premier League being crap, I think it's so much stronger than a lot of these European leagues. Oscar says, I'm still Frank in, get some quality attacking players, and I'm confident we can turn this around. That could be the answer, mate. That could be the answer. Who knows? The players certainly showed last night they can do it for Frank. So let's see what happens. Another failed upload says, catch the Danalist and Philly tonight talking Jurassic Park 1 to 3 on Blockbuster Movies, Games and Television. Yes, get over to Blockbuster Movies, Games and Television if you like all things TV, movies and games. Corey, if you want to put the link in the chat, mate, feel free. Stuart said, ghosted, the same as last season, absolutely. Bob says, Odebear blows hot and cold. Spence, played okay wide, and Danzo played okay. Simmons, man of the match. Now play the same team for the rest of the season. Oof. I'm not sure we can. I mean, I think we have to bring, as Jimmy says, Van der Ven back and Gallagher back. Basuma, I'm not sure, but I wouldn't be against Basuma coming back. Obviously, um, yeah, I wouldn't be against that. I think maybe Burnley away we could do with a Basuma. Um, but yeah, for me, I don't think we should be starting that team every week. I think what they showed is they can turn it on, but I think the players that come back are better and stronger. And if they can turn it on with the team, there's no reason why we cannot fly at that league. But it's all about attitude now, isn't it? It's all about attitude from the players, from the manager, all pulling in the right direction. And let's see what happens. Hotspur Flicks, and I'd definitely start Spence and Udogi together again. I kind of agree. I think it makes us solid on that left hand side because whereas Spence did really well going forward, he is still a defender at the end of the day. And him and Udogi, I thought, worked really, really well together. So I agree with you, Hotspur Flicks. I would be thinking about starting them now at the weekend as well. Kate is in. Good morning, Nige. Good morning to you, Kate. I hope you are well. And Nico Knapp says, Spence, the new bell. Absolutely not. But listen, he had a good game, and let's hope he can continue this, guys. 54 in the house. If you haven't, smash a like and hit the subscribe button. It is so important. It's amazing, isn't it? We win a game, and you get half the amount of people in the room as when you lose. But hey, we don't need therapy today. We are celebratory. We are in a celebratory mood because we won last night in the Champions League. Bob Caddy says Mawani is crap. Send him back now. I agree. I agree. If only we could bring a striker in January and just send him back. I don't think it happened, but it would be nice. Thomas saying, come on, you Spurs fans, 60 years. Wow. Fair play to you, mate. I've been a Spurs fan for 45 years. 7 years old when I became a Spurs fan, and I've been a Spurs fan ever since. I love this club with everything that I have. And you know what? We take the wins, like I say. Siphon in, come on, you Spurs. Absolutely, mate. Barbaric says, I was fuming when Moani gave up on the ball over the top. He just doesn't look like he wants to even try, does he? Unless it's absolutely on a plate for him, he doesn't seem to want to try at all. He had one good run last night, to be fair, and he got cried it out. But I don't know. I don't know. Siphoning says, I was saying we needed to sign a new left winger, but now I think Jed could be the permanent left winger. I mean, I wouldn't go that far, mate. I wouldn't go. I think we're still desperate for a real quality on that left hand side. But I do think Spence has give Frank a few options, definitely. Kate says, Nige, do you think now the board will bring in players in the transfer window? Oh, I don't know, Kate. I really don't. I'm of the opinion of we need them desperately. We need them desperately, but I'm not sure. I think time is running out, isn't it? And because we don't know what's happening with Frank still, I think it's a good excuse for the board not to do anything else. And then they will come out at the end of it and say it's all about the summer. It's all about the summer. But I think we need at least one more in, and one more to go straight into the first team, not as just a squad player. But let's see what happens. Dino said, pleased to see Don back. Absolutely. Really pleased to see Don back. And he says, what about Bodo's result last night? Yeah, we're saying it earlier. Bodo, decent team. They get a lot of stick, but they're a good side. And Man City, they're falling apart, aren't they? Kate says, nice to see you with a smile on your face. We still have Burnley to go. Yeah, take the wins as we can get them, Kate, isn't it? And enjoy it. But we got to switch on because Burnley is a massive, massive game for Frank. It still doesn't change anything. We are still absolutely bobbins in the league, and we need a win because if we lose to Burnley, whoo, oh dear, we are back to square one. And for me, Frank still has to go even after last night. But we will see what happens. But obviously, if we beat Burnley, he gets a reprieve, and we will see what happens going forward. Nico says BDV left back. Danzo is a good player, always seems so calm and does what he has to do. For me, I think now a doggy's back. I don't think we need to play VDV at left back. I think maybe there's a good option to play maybe three at the back now because I think Danzo is a fantastic defender. And I do feel for him when he's left out because obviously Romero, Van der Ven, first choice. But listen, Frank has options, especially in the defensive areas now. So let's see what happens going forward. Ghost is saying, good team, Bodo Glim. They are a good team. Absolutely. And then says, we are effed. The Gooners are going to win the league. City are rubbish this season. Yeah, Gooners are going to win the league. They might win the League Cup. They might win the Champions League. Imagine if that happened. Imagine if they won all three. I think I'd come off YouTube and social media forever. Maybe never watch football again. That can't happen, right? That cannot happen. Thomas saying that's why Argentina win World Cups and others don't. Argentina got a pretty good side, though, haven't they? A pretty good team, you know. And they do have the wonderful Messi, of course. Kate says, "Nige, still worried about Vicario, though. Yeah, Vicario's a problem. I think he's going to be a problem. Hopefully, we will address it in the summer. Terrible with his feet. Terrible. Just a bit like Lloris used to, you know, when God, she knows. You know, Lloris used to, as much as he was a great shot stopper and one of the world's best, when the ball was at his feet, he used to panic like anything. And the same with Vicario. Panic like anything when he's got the ball at his feet because you just don't know what he's going to do. Anton saying Bodo, not for everyone. Yeah, I mean, we rock up there and get a 2-2 draw, you know, Man City. Get absolutely outclassed. Anton says performances will improve once the better players come back from injury. Let's hope so, Anton. Let's hope so. I mean, we've not seen much of it so far, but you know, let's hope that happens. Golden Sun says no, left back or right back cover with that team. No, and we are short in the fullback area still, aren't we? We've got 3 fullbacks that are all playing. They all played last night, so yeah, we still need some cover at fullback. Barbaric said, keep smashing the likes and sub if you haven't already and get over to the 2 Mark Show and do the same. Absolutely 100%. And every single Spurs YouTube channel, get over and subscribe to them because you know what? We're all trying to grow and it's so important. Everyone's got different opinions. Everyone does things slightly differently. And it's just nice to watch, you know? For me, when I get home from work, and I don't watch TV anymore. I don't watch TV at all unless it's Love Island. I didn't just say that, but I, like I say, I stick YouTube straight on, and I will watch any Spurs channel that's on. Any Spurs channel is on. If there's not a Spurs channel on, I'm like, there's nothing to watch. What am I supposed to do? So yeah, subscribe to all of them. I absolutely do. Any Spurs channel I see, I subscribe to them, whether they've got 1 sub or 100,000 subs, doesn't matter to me. We've all got opinions, and I just love hearing different Spurs opinions. Anton saying, good point, Golden. Jimmy saying, a difference in team balance when a doggy makes us is night and day. I agree. When a doggy's back in that side, the balance is so much better. So much better. Corey says, it was refreshing to see us play last night. The red card was 50-50, but in today's game, it's a red. I agree. He did touch the ball, but then his foot was high and left in. Yeah, it's one of them, isn't it? I mean, but this is it. Anyone who's played football will know when you put a tackle in, you can't just tackle and stop. It doesn't happen. You've got to follow through. It's gravity, you know, it's just yeah, but it is what it is. It is what I'm not complaining. Mawani was shite, send him back and get a proper striker in, says Kate. I agree, 100%. Anton, I gave Mawani a chance till I found out he was 27. He should be in his prime. He absolutely should be, shouldn't he? And listen, he clearly just doesn't want to know, doesn't want to be at Spurs. Send him back. Let's get someone in. But of course, we're not going to do it in January if we can't send anyone in. Thank you to the 2 people who've just subbed. If you haven't subbed to the channel, please smash that sub button. It is so important. And hit the like button as well. Ghost is saying Danzo was solid last night. His head was on everything. We need to find a way to get him in the team. I keep saying 3 at the back, but we don't see it. I love Kevin Danzo, and Kevin Danzo loves me. We should change the Eric Dyer to Kevin Danzo. You know, I think he's great. I really do. I think he's great. He's a proper old school defender. And he's not as bad as what people say. You know, people say that he can't pass out. He absolutely can. He's not, you know, as comfortable on the ball as a Romero. But you know what? Romero makes mistakes. You know, last night he had a ball run under his foot, go for a corner. You know, nobody bats an eyelid. If that had been a Danzo, people would have been like, "Oh, Danzo's crap on the ball." You know, it is what it is. I like Danzo, I really do. He plays with his heart, and he's a good defender. He's always the right side. Yeah, love Kevin Danzo. Golden Sun says, "Back or sack, the ball is in your court, Enoch." Absolutely. Absolutely, it is. And Anton says, "Board will probably sack Frank before backing him." This is the fear, isn't it? And if we do sack him if we lose to Burnley, don't get the result we need, and we do sack him, we are then what, 6 days before the window shuts? Are we going to bring anyone in then? I think it's highly unlikely, but let's see what happens. Kate says, "Nige, we are in the down to bare bones. Other clubs would never be in the position. We need to buy players. It's neglect from board." I agree 100%. It absolutely is. I mean, you look at the injuries and the players out currently, and it is. I mean, I've never seen a season like it for Spurs. And with the amount of long-term injuries we got, you know, Kulusevski, Maddison, Richarlison, Bentancur, all long-term injuries. You know, these are not like, oh, a week or so, a couple of weeks. These are like a couple of months upwards. And yeah, we don't seem to have a lot of luck with injuries, but we 100% need to bring the players in. You know, other teams don't worry about it. They just bring the players in and deal with the situation later. Jimmy says, "Imagine Romero, Van der Ven, and Danzo in a back three with Porro, Spence, and Doggy pushing on, saying it all season, just saying it." Yeah, I mean, I'm with you on the three at the back. I think it would probably be then Porro and Doggy playing, and Spence would be on the bench, I would imagine. Um, but listen, I'm all for it. Let's try it. Let's do it against Burnley. Why not? I don't want to see us revoke back to four at the back and two like holding midfielders against Burnley. I really don't. I think is we proved now we can attack. We need to keep doing it. Oscar saying we should have took a chance at Ten Stegen. He is levels above Vicario. Yeah, I like him as a keeper. I like him as a keeper, top keeper. Um, is he Is he on the way down now? Because he has lost a bit of form. I don't know. I don't know, guys. What do we think on a keeper? Who do we bring in to make us better? Matt's in the house saying, "Big up, Nige. Big up to you, Matt. Good to see you, mate. Listened to you on Dan's show last night. Absolutely bang on with everything you said." And Corey says, "Give me my keepers the old fashioned way. Was before I'm good with his feet. Hell no. And Schmeichel no. Seaman no." I agree with you 100%, mate. But sadly, this is the way the game is now, isn't it? You have to be good with your feet as a keeper. And that's the problem, isn't it? Vicario's a great shot stopper. He's crap. I think I'm better with my feet than Vicario. I think I'd do a better job. I probably wouldn't. But this is the way the game is. You have to be good with your feet and good with your hands as well. And for me, I don't want world class. I'm not interested in a keeper who's amazing with his hands and amazing with his feet because we're not going to get that. Let's get solid, a good, solid keeper, someone who can save the ball and someone who's decent with his feet as well. It doesn't have to be world class. But let's see what we do in the summer. It's going to be interesting. But yeah, I agree with you on the old school keepers, definitely. Just sadly, the way the game's gone, you have to be good with your feet too. Thomas said, "I said buy Irish goalkeeper from Liverpool 3 years ago. I remember Pat Jennings, he would have cost 18 million. Look at Brent." Yeah, listen, I really like Kelleher. I think he's a top keeper, good with his feet as well. And, you know, he's a good shot stopper. So I would have taken him all day long, but we didn't. And, you know, this is again, our recruitment is terrible. Absolutely no doubt. We have what? What's the date today? It's 21st, isn't it? When does the window shut, guys? I'm pretty certain the window shuts around, is it around the 2nd of Feb? It's a bit later, isn't it, this year? Um, we don't have long left to start bringing players in. So it's going to be interesting to see what we can do. Dino says, "I'm driving down the A13 this morning with a big, silly grin on my face." Yeah, mate, it's one of them, isn't it? It's just so nice to be winning games again. And but drive safe, mate. Drive safe. Let's hope we can continue it. Sunday, the Prez is in. Big up, Nige, Pure Coys, and everyone in the chat. Big up to the lovely, magnificent Kate Rixham. Absolutely. Big up to you, mate. I hope you are well. And Dino says, I'm the Spurs TikTok guy. Coys, I know, mate. Yes, big up to you. I do follow you on TikTok. Top man, guys, if you haven't got over on TikTok and follow them, follow him on TikTok. I think you got a YouTube channel as well, mate, haven't you? If you have, guys, get over to Dino THFC and follow him on YouTube as well. Always speaks well. It's got a great bar. You've got like a bar in your house, haven't you? Or in your shed. It looks fantastic, mate. Looks fantastic. The press says, big up, lovely, magnificent Kate Rixham. Keep chatting, guys. Keep chatting. Golden Sun says, Enoch Yap will be the new manager. Must assess the team before we buy. Yeah, listen, we are a mess. We're still a mess, even after last night's win. There's a lot to do. Let's hope that Spurs now, after that win, gives us a bit of confidence. We can start maybe talking positively about our club again. And let's see what happens. Jimmy says Ortega from City. I would love Ortega. I think he's a top goalkeeper. I really do. And the press says, this isn't Captain Planet. Spurs don't just need players with heart. We had that with Sissoko. When do Spurs actually have players of talent and ability to do a competent job? But yeah, I agree. But you've got to have heart in there as well, haven't you? You know, we've got a lot of players who have got the talent and ability, but they haven't got the heart. So for me, you need all three. I think we need a mix of everything in this team and squad. I've seen newborn zebras with better feet than Vic. Absolutely, mate. Absolutely. Kate said to 2nd of Feb, and so does Barbaric and Jimmy. Fair play to you. And the Prez says another week before Spurs kick into action. Transfer market is probably going to be at the end of the market, isn't it? Guys, I'm going to leave it there. I've got to get to work. How sad is that? But thank you all for joining me so much. Remember to hit that like, hit that subscribe on the way out. I really do appreciate each and every one of you for being here. Guys, have a great day. Let's enjoy the victory. And as always, stay positive, stay poised, and stay pure Coys.